Now, before we begin this video, I would like to issue out an apology to a certain player. Many individuals, including myself, had very low expectations for your team. We didn't believe you guys were good. We didn't think that you would reach the heights that you did. We did not believe that you would be as successful as not only an individual player, but as a team as a whole. Now, I gotta admit to you, as a certain quarterback, that you have had success in previous years with a previous team. And it would seem like your future was laid out to have you there. Don't know for how long, but it felt like the future was your team. It felt like you were going to take over after the previous quarterback had some question marks, because we didn't know about his future. So it seemed like it was going to be your team. But unfortunately, it seemed like they decided that they wanted to keep with their other quarterback, and they wanted to send you away. And if only they could see the success that you had, and to accomplish something that we all thought was very unlikely. But you did it anyway. And I am, of course, talking about Dolphins quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. Well, y'all think I was going to talk about Jimmy G? No, screw Jimmy G. He doesn't deserve any hat. I mean, good job for being 13-3, but no, you get no credit from me. Win a playoff game, then come talk to me. And of course, I was talking to some other individuals in the Progs League about this line, saying, who does this think? I got a couple people that told me Ryan Tannehill, which I guess that's a fair assumption. But nah, I just wanted to hype up Ryan Fitzpatrick because I've said this multiple times on Twitter, but regardless of how good or bad he is, he's definitely one of the more entertaining quarterbacks to watch. Definitely over recent years, especially, too. And I'm mad that 2015 Jets team didn't make the playoffs still. I would have liked to see Fitz magic in the playoffs, but oh well. And hello, folks, and welcome to the wildcard weekend of the 2019-2020 NFL season. I'm your host, Cody P. of the Blind Canadian Cat, where we see meow and we roll intros like the ones you have seen in the past. And now, here we are in the playoffs, and I must ask y'all this. What is a bigger surprise to you all? The fact that Kirk Cousins is going to be playing on wildcard weekend, or the fact that Tom Brady is? This NFL season was definitely an interesting one. I will give y'all that. So, as we now are down to only 4 games for the next 2 weeks, and then 2 and then 1, we shall be a little more detailed into each prediction in each video. But with that, let us recap last week. We round off the season with a 10-6 straight up record, and then spreads and total picks were up and down, ending the year straight up with a 149, 106, and 1 record. If we're talking in the span of my YouTube series, this is my worst year. And if we're talking in the sense of against the spread, this is only my second year doing spread picks, and while I have more wins, I have the same amount of incorrects. So less pushes went into my favor, but overall we end with the same negatives in against the spread. And with totals, well, this is my first year doing totals, probably my only year doing totals, but hey, we'll think about it. We'll look into the future. We'll see how we're feeling. And with that, I'll even let you guys have a little graphic right here as well, looking at my previous years in the regular season. I'd have to actually do some research to see what that number is in the postseason, but those are my regular season numbers over the years. And like I said, the 2015, that 142 and 114, I cannot call that accurate because that was before my YouTube predictions video. All I know is I've had that number written down for years, so at this point, I'm just willing to call it accurate. I have the 2014 number down as well somewhere, but I truly don't believe that's an accurate number. Not that I'm saying that I got more wrong or more right, but I don't have any proof or any backup anywhere. So I'm just going to leave that off, and probably after next year's predictions, I'm probably just going to leave the 2015 off to leave it to YouTube numbers only. But we shall see. And with that, we got 4 games, folks. Let's get into those 4 games. Starting off with the Houston Texans hosting the Buffalo Bills. The Texans as a 2.5-point favorite at home and a total of 44. And now, looking at this, I must say, first of all, why does ESPN always get the Texans games when they make the playoffs? I don't know. But I guess it is what it is, folks. It don't make sense to me, but hey. I don't know what y'all talk about. This Houston and Buffalo game, I think will be the best game out of all 4 playoff games. Personally, I think this will be the best game. Or the less decisive, or I don't know. Anyway, this is the only game where it really depends on who you think will win. Or it's a coin flip, personally. But these are both good teams. I won't say they're bad teams. Buffalo doesn't really like that, but both I can't talk. Buffalo, as a team, welcome back to the playoffs. They were here back in 2017 thanks to a play that I will not reference or talk about because it never happened. No, I'm not mad. But yeah, Buffalo comes in with a 10-6 record. Same with Houston. Both 2 good teams, both with questionable scheduling, but they got wins where they needed them, and now they're here in the playoffs. Houston ended up taking the week off because they knew practically that they were the 4th seed guaranteed, and it didn't matter. So losing to Tennessee in the Week 17 game allowed Tennessee to get into the playoffs. So good job, but meh. And Buffalo, well, they got in pretty early because they had a very somber, easy schedule, considering that the AFC East had to play the NFC least, and then also the North, which only had 1 good team. So it is what it is. I can't argue, can't complain, but neither records are that particularly impressive. But then again, that being said, both these teams have relatively decent defenses. Offenses are suspect up and down, but I like both these teams' defenses. And at the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to quarterback play. Do I think Josh Allen's going to struggle? No, I think he'll have his fair share of moments. But at the end of the day, I think Houston is the better team. I trust Deshaun Watson more than Josh Allen. And I don't know if J.J. Watt's return is going to really mean much for the defense in Houston. But I think it'll have like a Marshawn Lynch impact like it did for Seattle. Where it'll boost the team's ego, boost the team's hype. So, yeah, I like Houston to win this game. 2.5. I mean, I'm not saying it'll be a blowout, but I think 2.5 is easy enough to cover. So, yeah, Houston minus 2.5. Fair enough. And then a total of 44. I got this at an under, personally. I think this will be a relatively low-scoring affair. Like a 17-14 or a 16-10, something like that. I don't think either of these teams really reach 20, or if they do, it'll be very minimal. Even a 24-20, but that's pushing, so oh well. So yeah, Houston, straight up, and against the spread, and under 44. Low-scoring game. Next game has New England hosting the Tennessee Titans, where New England is favored by 5 points, and the total is set at 44.5. Looking at New England playing in the wild card, it's very weird. Last time they were here, it was the 2009 season, the year after Brady recovered from that horrible ACL injury in 2008. And so now he's playing for a wild card, first time in forever. Last wild card the game they played was against the Ravens, where I believe they lost 33-14. So wild card has not been friendly to them as previous years have indicated. But I feel like that won't be such a big deal for them. Because Tennessee, while they come in at the 9-7 record, they've been on a fire streak since Ryan Tannehill took over. And they're one of the hottest offenses in the league, what can you say? And they got Derrick Henry, who just won the rushing title by popping over 200 yards against Houston last week, so congratulations on your rushing title. Congratulations, Tennessee, on having a 4th consecutive year of 9-7. And round of applause, I guess. Good job. Although, at the end of the day, if you look at the schedule for Tennessee, they haven't beaten anyone good. Yeah, they beat KC. That was Patrick Mahomes' first game coming back from injury. So I mean, yay. Had Patrick Mahomes been fully healthy, I think maybe they perform a little better. Who knows? And it was also a road game for KC, so hey, it is what it is. I see a lot of people thinking Tennessee might be that team. And, New England has not looked impressive, especially losing that flunker to Miami, but I think it's just all smoke and mirrors. Tennessee hasn't really played anyone good. New England has one of the top tier defenses, and supposedly the weather for this game is going to be hella cold and hella wet. So, with that being said, I think New England wins this game. Tennessee, you had a nice run, but at the end of the day, no. I'm sorry. You're not going into Foxborough and winning that game. I just don't see it. I do not see it. So take New England straight up on the line. Again, Pats are favored by 5. I originally had Tennessee doing a cover on this, but then again, someone brought up to me, Tennessee's played no one good. So while their offense has been high-powered, they've played no one good. And with the weather and all, I don't know, it does not seem like to be a high-scoring or close game. I think New England is well enough, smart enough, prepared enough that this will just be I won't say a walk in the park kind of game, but I think they'll have control early, and then they'll just dominate the rest of the game. So, yeah, New England -5, and total's at 44.5. I like the under, mostly because of the weather. I took the over at first, but with the weather, I'm not trusting it. And that means a lot more run game, so whether Derrick Henry can beat Sony Michel and James White, probably. But I think the Patriots as a whole are a smarter organization, and they're more prepared. So with that, I'm going under. Pats win, cover, and it's under for another low-scoring affair. Give it a 23-13, I guess. Something simple like that. Now I'm going to move on. Third game has the Saints hosting the Vikings, where the Saints are 8-point favorites and a 49.5 total. Short and simple, I don't trust Kirk Cousins. End of story. So, without a doubt, I think New Orleans wins, because I just do not trust Minnesota, period. Kirk Cousins had a nice run, somehow snuck in with an easy schedule. That's also another thing. While there might have been a lot of good teams, I think 6 teams finished with 12 wins or better, there were a lot of bad teams this year. And Minnesota the beneficiary of a lot of those bad teams. Hey, and then also Kirk Cousins doesn't perform well under pressure or in primetime moments. They're lucky that's a Sunday morning game, but no, I don't trust Cousins at all. So with that being said, Saints win, and Cousins doesn't perform well under pressure. I'm being judgmental. I know. I'll admit, I don't trust Kirk Cousins. Haven't, won't, ever. I hope he changes it. I hope he does well. But no, I can't buy into it. So the Saints will cover -8 and over. A total of 49.5. I like the over. It's a dome game. In fact, it's the only game. No, it's second game. I'll be indoors, and these are two quote-unquote high-powered offenses. Saints have been on a roll last month or so, and Vikings will get their points. So that Kirk Cousins doesn't have it back. I'm sorry. I know I'm shitting on Cousins, but I'm speaking from past experiences. This is Cousins' second playoff game. His first playoff game, granted with the Redskins, granted with a questionable team, who also went 9-7 to win their division. Freaking lost 35-18 after being up 11-0. I'm just telling you what I see, people. I'm just telling you what I see. But this game will definitely go over, because I think Saints will have a lead throughout, keep it, put up a lot of numbers, and then Minnesota will do like a little crawling back in, but won't be enough. So, with that being said, that -8 does in fact scare me, but I think it'll be just enough to hold off any late push Minnesota may or may not have. Saints win, blowout win, high scoring affair. Final game has Seattle going to Philadelphia. Philly's a 1.5 point dog in this game, with a total set of 45.5. Congratulations, Philly. Congratulations, Doug Peterson, for being the only coach that looks like he's going to keep his job in that division. And good job for winning that crappy division. Applause and credit to you, and applause to Carson Wentz for now who gets to start his first playoff game. Granted, the Philadelphia Eagles have been in the playoff the last 2 seasons, and even won a Super Bowl. This will be Carson Wentz's first playoff game that he gets to start. Oh joy, so we'll see what happens. Only game that occurred in the regular season, Seattle won, 17-9, I believe. Is what it is. Again, gonna keep it short and simple. Cause apparently, I guess my battery's dying on me because I didn't charge the camera. I like Seattle. I think this is a gimme. I see a lot of people thinking Philly might have a chance because they're the home team and yada yada. And Seattle has injuries to running backs. But I just trust Russell Wilson, who was the MVP for the first 8-9 weeks of the season. But, no, I just trust Philadelphia. I trust Philadelphia's inconsistencies to catch up with them, considering their last 5 games were against quote-unquote crappy teams. So Seattle wins 1.5. That's easy. If this game ends up Seattle like only winning by 1, I'm gonna throw something because I hate that. Whatever. But no, Seattle will win. They'll cover. Easy money. Under. Another low-scoring affair. Both these teams are depleted. Both these teams have injuries, and both these teams have good but inconsistent offenses. So under that 45.5. Seattle wins, covers, low-scoring affair. So there you have it, folks. I have all the favorites winning, and I have all the favorites covering. That usually never happens, and probably won't happen, so don't be surprised. If an underdog team is going to win, I think it'll be Buffalo, but you have it here. 3 of the 4 games go under due to weathering purposes, and that'll be that. Thank you all for watching the Week 18, I guess, technically, predictions video of the Wildcard Weekend. I'm your host, Cody P, and let's get this video out, because time is of the evanescence.